why now? Why is this man talking now? One of our local attorneys, friend of our show, Brian Watkins, is here to break this down for us on a legal aspect. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so why now? He hasn't talked at all.
It's a little too little and a lot too late. The time for him to apologize was during the sentencing phase of his trial, where they were trying to make the decision of whether or not he would receive life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. That would have been the time for him to express remorse and apologize, but he chose to remain silent for whatever reason. Now is a little too late. The sentencing was already done. He was going to be sentenced to death. The judge had no power to change his mind at that time. So if this was an attempt to sway the judge, it could not work, because the jury was the one that made the decision.
Well, you would think that his attorney would have said to him, hey, dude, you know, you're going to get the death penalty. Likely you're going to get the death penalty, but perhaps during the sentencing phase, you should say something. Maybe that would help your case a little bit.
Right. You know, we specialize in criminal law here in San Diego, and often clients don't listen to the lawyers. And those clients turn out to be what we call jailhouse lawyers. And, of course, jailhouse lawyers went to jail because they didn't listen to their lawyer. And quite possibly, his attorney was suggesting, I need you to speak during the sentencing phase of this trial. I need you to explain that your older brother influenced you. I need you to explain what state of mind that you're in, and most importantly, I need you to explain that you're sorry, that it was wrong, and you take responsibility, and that you do have some remorse if I'm going to save your life. Apparently, he did not do that. Of course, he did not testify during the sentencing phase of his trial, and he saved his remarks for now, which is too late. Like I said, the judge could not make the decision. The decision was already made.
Okay, so I have heard in the media, the national media mostly, I've heard, you know, perhaps he made this statement at this, you know, formal sentencing hearing. Perhaps he made this statement because he, there's some sort of play down the road. This was necessary in his appeal. Does that even hold water?
He may have been thinking that. That would be incorrect thinking. Appellate courts can only look at technical errors that the court made or the judge made during the trial. They can't look at sympathy or look at mitigating factors or the fact that he's now sorry in the appellate process. The appellate process is just looking at legal mistakes that were made. So they're very limited. So any sort of emotional appeal at this time is too late.
Yeah, not going to help anything.
It's not going to help anything, not at all.
All right, let's talk about the appeals process, because, you know, of course, sentenced to death. I mean, that happened yesterday, you know, officially, but it's going to be many, many moons before it actually happens, because appeals take quite a long time.
Correct, they do. You know, and the federal court doesn't execute people all the time. You know, this is not like Texas. Texas, like they're putting in pretty much an express lane in their death penalty laws. But the federal courts don't really execute a lot of people. The appellate process is a lengthy process because things are looked over and over again, line by line, making sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed before they actually put someone to death. So yeah, he's going to be on death row for a number of years, barring any appeals, any victory of any appeals. You know, I could see him getting executed in the next 5 years.
Okay. All right, Brian, always great to see you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
All right. It's a big day.